1, 3, and 6 today. Okay, 1, 3, and 6 only. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is number 1. We want to put this guy in standard form, and then we're going to talk about its degree. So before I do that, some vocabulary words that we have to be comfortable with that are explained in the video notes. Each one of these guys in this polynomial, so the whole thing is called a polynomial. Each one of these guys here, these are called terms. This is one term, this is another term, and this is another term. So this polynomial has 3 terms, okay? So just understand that vocabulary. So these groupings of numbers is a term. This polynomial has 3 of them. All right? The next thing that's different that you might not be familiar with is the exponent. So the powers or exponents, when we're dealing with polynomials, we give them a different name, okay? But they really just means exponents. We call these guys degrees, okay? So how would I use that like in vocabulary mathematical sentence? So this term is to the 7th degree. This term here is to the 5th degree. This term here is to the 9th degree. Okay? So in essence, each term has their own degree, and then the entire polynomial has a certain degree. And that's what we're going to talk about in a little bit when we get to this question here. All right? So that's a couple of the vocabulary words that you will see in the video from Monday. Standard form. Standard form is pretty straightforward, okay? What you want to do is we want to arrange the terms from big to small degree. Okay, and that's what a standard form is. So basically, if you look at our polynomial here, we're going to rewrite them in a different order where we want the higher powered degree, so this whole term, we want the higher degree to come first, then the next highest degree, and then the next highest degree until we're done writing down all the terms. Okay? So let's do that. I'm going to do this work on the side because I don't want to get it all nasty here, and I'll put my final answer here. All right? So let's put this in standard form. So what we're going to do is look for the highest degree. So the highest degree is this term here. Negative 4x to the 9th degree, or the 9th power. So this guy is going to be written down first. So negative 4x to the 9th. Notice how I take the sign with it. So it's a negative 4x to the 9th. Okay? What I like to do when I'm writing stuff down and reordering it, I like to cross this out. This way I just keep things orderly and I know that I used that term already. We're done with that term. Okay? Let's go and look for the next highest degree. And that's going to be this guy. So this guy is positive 5x to the 7th. So we're going to put positive plus 5x to the 7th. Okay? And then I cross him out because we're done with him. That term is gone. And then it's really easy to see that we have one last guy, which is negative 2x to the 5th. Okay? All right, and this is, we have put it in the correct order. Highest power to lowest power. Okay? A lot of students make mistakes because of the signs. Just make sure you keep the sign that's in front attached to your term. So this was a negative 2x to the 5th. We kept it negative 2x to the 5th. Okay, so now there's one more part in standard form. There's one more rule. Standard form cannot have a negative in the front for now. Okay? So this is something that I just want to make sure that we are aware of. I'm not going to deal with it yet because when we start dealing with equations, that's when it's a big issue. But standard form, just I'm throwing it out there. We got to be careful with the negative. Okay? And the way we combat that is we basically multiply everything by -1. Or in other words, if I need to change this guy to a positive, because we can't have the first guy being negative, that means I have to change him to a positive. That means everything else gets switched. Okay, so he becomes +4, he becomes -5, and he becomes +2. All right, so that's something to keep in mind. Right now, I'm not going to make a big issue with it, but when we start getting into the equations where we have to solve these things, because we're going to have to solve these guys, that can be something we got to look at, okay? But for now, standard form is all I want you to do is put it in the correct order. So we'll just leave the signs as they are. Okay, so that is standard form there. All right, now let's look at the degree. So what this is really asking is, looking at the entire polynomial, so at the entire, we'll look at the standard form, the entire polynomial, we want the highest exponent or degree. Okay? So when it asks for the degree, it's asking for the degree of the entire polynomial, and that degree is just, you pick the higher guy. So the higher degree is 9. So this would be a 9th degree polynomial. We ignore the other ones. Okay, especially when it's in standard form, it's that simple. If it's in different forms, then we have to do something for degree later on. But for now, we're going to keep it in standard form. You pick the highest degree. And if it's in standard form, it should be the first guy. If you put it in standard form correctly, your degree should be the first guy because he's the highest power. Okay, so those are some vocabulary words and just some logistical things with polynomials that we had to deal with. All right, so that's number 1. Okay, so number 3, we're going to simplify. Okay, so there's basically 2 steps to simplify. We're going to distribute because we don't like parentheses, so we have to distribute if needed for the parentheses. Our goal is to get the parentheses to go away. That's why I crossed out the parentheses. We don't like parentheses. After the parentheses are gone, we're going to combine like terms. Okay, and that's as simple as it gets. On your assignment today, it doesn't say simplify. On your assignment today, it says something like this. It says find the sum or difference. Okay? That's basically saying, hey, you're going to have problems that have a plus sign in between. Simplify the ones with plus signs. That's for sum. If you have a negative sign in between, you're simplifying the difference. So this is just a different way of saying, hey, I want you to simplify. Whether it's addition for sum or subtraction for difference, you're still simplifying. So don't let those directions confuse you when you see the assignment today. It's basically doing what we're about to do. Okay? So number 3, what we want to do is distribute if needed. We need to get rid of the parentheses. And the only way we can get rid of parentheses is to distribute. So what that means is we want to look here and we want to figure out, is there a number here that I need to multiply in to get rid of the parentheses? Okay? And the answer is actually yes, it's +1. I know it wasn't written down, but there's actually a +1 there. When there's a +1, if I multiplied +1 in, it really doesn't change anything. Okay? So we really don't have to do that. Even though mathematically that's what we're doing, we really don't have to do that because +1 really doesn't change when we multiply. So because our problem does not have an actual number, it's only really a +1. When there's a +1 here, we don't have to distribute. We can simply just erase the parentheses. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. There's nothing to distribute because positive 1 does not change our numbers. All right? So I just rewrote that first polynomial without parentheses. Now let's jump over to the second set of parentheses, and I'm going to look at the same spot. Is there a number there? And the answer is yes. It's a positive 1, and just like I mentioned, positive 1 means we really don't have to do anything. We could just rewrite this without parentheses. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So it's going to be positive b to the 4th. So plus b to the 4th plus 4b to the 3rd. Guys, we are done with step 1. We didn't really have to distribute, even though that's kind of what we did. Okay? Step 2, we're going to combine like terms. And combine like terms is we're going to look for the same term. Remember, these are terms. They have the same variable to the same power. So let's start with the first term. So this term has b to the 3rd. I'm looking for another b to the 3rd, and I have it here. So we are going to combine those. All right? So what that means is look at the number. This is called a coefficient. We have positive 2 and we have positive 4. So if I put them together, they're on the same team. So that means they're going to make a bigger team. They're going to add together. So positive 2 and positive 4 gives me positive 6. And then, because we're combining like terms, the b and the power stay the same. So when you're combining like terms, the variable and the power does not change. Okay? What I like to do is once I use them, I like to cross out the terms I've already used. This way it's less confusion when I start doing the other work. So we're done there. Let's go to the second term. My second term is b to the 4th. So I'm looking for another b to the 4th, and I have one there. So I have positive 4, and this is actually positive 1. Okay? So positive 4 and positive 1, that gives me positive 5. And then the b to the 4th stays the same. All right? A common mistake is I have students that do not put the positive in between. They'll write the problem without a positive. So they'll just write two terms together like that. Make sure you put a sign in between if it does have a sign. Okay? If there's no sign, that's really a positive sign. So, guys, we are done combining like terms. We cannot combine these because one's b to the 3rd and the other's b to the 4th. They have to be exactly the same type of b. So what we're going to do now is get used to putting it in standard form. So we want a highest power degree first. So this guy has the highest power. He's going to go first. Again, since I used him or rewrote him, I like to cross him out. And then this guy is the next power. So we're going to go plus. He's plus 6b to the 3rd. And this is my simplified polynomial. Okay? Pretty simple. All right, let's shoot over to number 6. Okay, for number 6, I'm going to put the work up here just so there's more room. So let's ignore number 4. All right, let's go through it. Do I have anything to distribute here? Well, there is a positive 1, but positive 1 doesn't do anything, so I'm just going to rewrite this guy without parentheses. So it's 8v to the 2nd plus 2v to the 4th plus 7. Okay? So we are done with that guy. Now we go here. Is there anything here to distribute? And the answer is yes. It's not positive 1. It's actually negative 1. So that means we got to take this negative 1 and multiply it in. So let's do that. So negative 1 times 6v, that's going to be negative 6v. Notice, I just write it right after my last term on the first guy. So negative 6v this negative 1 times positive 8v squared, that's negative 8v squared. And then negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5. Okay, we are done with step 1. Now we go to step 2. Let's combine like terms. I like to just start at the front. So I'm looking for any v's to the second power, which I have right here. Okay, now let's just do the math to the numbers in front. So we have positive 8 and negative 8. They are from different teams, so that means they're going to kill each other off, and we're going to be left with 0. So when you combine like terms and you're left with 0, do not do this. Don't be like, oh, it's 0, so I'm just going to put v squared. That is bad. Okay? What actually happens here is 0 v squared means they actually disappear. They eliminate. Okay? So we have no v squareds, which means we don't have to write anything down. We go on to the next term. So I'm looking for v to the 4th. And you'll notice I do not have any v to the 4th, so I'm just going to write him down. Cross him out because I'm done with him. Go to the next term. I have a constant. Remember, a constant is a number without a variable. So I'm looking for another constant, and I have one here, positive 5. So positive 7, positive 5, they are on the same team, so it means their team is going to get bigger, and their team's going to get bigger to the number 12. So it's going to be positive 12. Cross them out. We're done with them. And here's the whole reason I cross things out. It's very easy to see that we have just one guy left. There's nothing else to combine them with. We're just going to bring him down. And then I cross them out. And because I crossed them out, I am perfectly fine knowing that I looked at everybody. I didn't miss anybody, and I'm good to go. So the math is done, but now we want to put it in standard form. So we want the highest power first, which we have already. So I'm going to write him down. He's already there. Okay, and then we're going to go to the next highest power, which is actually v is to the first power. So there's a little imaginary 1 here. So we're going to put minus 6v next. Cross him out. And so the last thing that goes is the constant. Constant should always be last. Positive 12. This is your final answer. Okay, so we are done. I'm going to ask you to come back because I want you to take this time to get some of the assignments done. Remember, the reason you're struggling in my class is because you're not doing the assignment. So I'm going to give you time right now to start doing the assignment if you haven't started, and we will return at 1:20. So that gives you about 23 minutes to start this assignment. So return at 1:20 to get the check-in code. Okay? Mardo, if you're still there, don't leave. I know you have to...
I'm gonna go?
Yeah, but don't leave. I'm going to send you something, okay? Because I know you have to leave right now. Just give me a second. Let me know if you got it. Martel. I sent it on the chat. Yeah, I gave you the check-in code on the chat. And then you could take off. Sure, what's up?
I took a test on Sunday, and I did the question number 10 on a piece of paper, and I put it on Google Slides, so I put it on the file.
Yeah.
It says select file, and it wouldn't let me. And I emailed you saying if I could some way turn it in a different theme, so you could see my answer to that problem.
Yeah.
And I know
you're supposed to submit it through the test.
Yeah, so
I tried. Yeah.
here's the thing. You said you put it on a you put it on a Google Doc, right?
Yeah, I put it on a Google slide.
Is there any way that because I'll open your thing up again so you could try to do it again. Is there any way you can just send me the photo on that upload instead of attaching it to a Google Doc? Can you just whatever you attach to a Google Doc, can you attach that to the Canvas? You see? You see?
Yeah,
Them?
I think if you put it as an assignment, so instead of click test, it says submit assignment.
Okay, so when you're on,
I just have to file upload.
yeah. So instead of
See you later, Mr. Fernandez.
see you, Marto. So instead of because what I think might be happening is your Google Drive can't, or your Google Doc or your Google Slide cannot communicate with Canvas for some reason. So if
Yeah, I don't. It was just not working.
yeah, if there's any way instead of putting on a Google Slide, just actually upload that direct picture you were going to put on Google Slide into the test. If you could try it that way.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
The check-in code. Okay, it's NAIL. N-A-I-L. Once you check in, you are free to go. Finish up the work.
Bye, Mr. Fernandez.
See ya. See ya, see ya.
Mr. Fernandez, I just submitted the question 10 as my answer to question 10 as a comment.
Okay, I'll check it out. So it's not letting you upload at all, huh?
It wasn't at first, but I did it.
Okay.
I was able to.
Alright, I'll check it out.
Well, have a good day.
Alright, see ya. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye, Mr. Fernandez.
See ya, see ya. Yeah, Brianna, I did grade. If you turned it in on Sunday, I have not graded the Sunday ones yet. I graded anything that was turned in before Sunday. Eduardo, once you check in, you're good to go. All right, see ya.